Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers reportedly reached out to the Seahawks about DK Metcalf. The Pittsburgh Steelers are actively big game hunting for a wide receiver. After multiple reports of the Steelers reaching out to the San Francisco 49ers about Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, as well as calling the Denver Broncos about Courtland Sutton, Pittsburgh reportedly wasn't done. According to NFL Inside Benjamin Albright in a post on X, the Steelers also reached out to the Seattle Seahawks in hopes of acquiring DK Metcalf. The Steelers called about Ayuk and Sutton and have been rebuffed, Albright said. At least with opening talks. Called about DK, I don't believe a trade would get done there until after June 1st, if one got done at all. Albright added that the Steelers have called up to half a dozen teams in hopes of landing a receiver. With the 49ers, Broncos, and Seahawks being three teams the Steelers have reached out to, that still leaves at least three others. Could the Las Vegas Raiders be one of those teams with Davante Adams? The Washington Commanders with Terry McLaurin? The Steelers are clearly fishing for their white whale at receiver, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before something gets done. Steelers GM addresses rumor that Pittsburgh is targeting 49ers star receiver. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been quite busy through the free agency period and the draft, much like many other teams have been. However, the team has made numerous strides to improve its roster, which includes signing former Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson and trading for former Bears quarterback Justin Fields. Though grading or predicting how draftees will do can be viewed as premature, the Steelers did do a good job at boosting their offensive line. The team plans to run the ball with effectiveness, and putting together a stellar offensive line is the surefire way to ensure running lanes are opened up to aid a good rushing attack. Though the Steelers beefed up the offensive line through the draft, one area where the team still needs work is at wide receiver. Receiver George Pickens had a good year with 1,140 receiving yards, but the next closest was Deontay Johnson, who secured 717 yards. Johnson has since been traded to the Carolina Panthers, leaving the receiving room the Steelers currently have as majorly lacking. The drop-off from Johnson's 717 receiving yards falls to 370 yards, which belonged to running back Jaylen Warren. The Steelers clearly need help at wide receiver, and they have since been attached to huge names and rumors. The biggest rumor is that they were actively attempting to trade for San Francisco 49ers star receivers Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk leading up to the draft. Steelers general manager Omar Khan has since addressed these rumors. He appeared on ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show to discuss Pittsburgh making a play for a big receiver. Khan was asked by McAfee if there was any truth to the Steelers attempting to land these receivers. Khan simply stated, "I heard about it, rumors about trading for 49ers receivers, but there is nothing going on." Khan could be playing the role of the naive general manager when he knows full well who the Steelers are attempting to land, or they truly might not be trying to trade for anyone at the moment. Training camp and preseason could lead to the team exploring options at wide receiver far more, though it would be believed Khan would attempt to land someone far before that. Apart from the rumors that Ayuk and Samuel could still be traded, Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins is also a possibility. Higgins stated he wanted a trade after the Bengals were unwilling to give him a new contract. He did recently state that he expects to be with the team in 2024, and his not being traded right before or during the draft means Cincinnati likely feels the same. The Bengals are also a division rival of the Steelers, so it would be highly unlikely they would allow Higgins to go to the team they would be directly competing with for a playoff berth in 2024. Still, Khan could come up with a deal for Higgins that Pittsburgh would be hard-pressed to pass on. Either way, Khan could be throwing up a smokescreen to throw other teams off the trail of the Steelers landing a premier wide receiver. Courtland Sutton trade rumor reemerges, Team Insider responds. The 2024 NFL Draft came and went, and Courtland Sutton remains a Denver Bronco. This, despite swirling trade speculation and at least one team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, purportedly eyeing the former Pro Bowl wide receiver. The hot stove was cranked back up on Monday when former Steelers star-turned-budding newsbreaker Antonio Brown reported a big-name WR trade to the Steelers is close to done, cryptically adding, "Can't have two WRs with the same hashtag," alluding to Sutton and Pittsburgh's George Pickens, both of whom wear number 14. However, while Brown could have the scoop and a big-name receiver may be heading to the Steel City, that receiver is not Sutton, 9 News' Mike Klis counter-reported Monday evening. It's not Courtland. No plans to trade him, Klis posted on X, as Peyton and Peyton let Broncoland know in recent weeks, Sutton in good standing. Sutton is entering the penultimate campaign of his 4-year, $60.8 million extension inked in 2021. He has $27.6 million remaining on his deal, roughly $25 million of which is non-guaranteed. The 28-year-old, who led the Broncos in receiving last season, skipped the start of voluntary off-season workouts earlier this month, allegedly disgruntled over his deal. Team brass subsequently attempted to tamp down his non-attendance. "I mean, it's 100% voluntary. It's the first week of the off-season program," General Manager George Paton said on April 18. Head coach, Sean Payton, has talked to Courtland. "I've talked to Courtland. He's in a good place, and I'll just leave it at that." Unless blown away by an offer, the Broncos appear inclined to hang on to Sutton as a primary weapon for first-round quarterback Bo Nix, the continued WR1 in a core that also features Marvin Mims, Tim Patrick, and rookies Troy Franklin and Devon Vele. The Pittsburgh Steelers may not be done making moves at the wide receiver position. Pittsburgh selected Michigan wideout Roman Wilson in the 3rd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, but are still interested in Denver Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton. A source tells me that both the Steelers and Los Angeles Rams reached out to Denver both before and during the NFL Draft, inquiring about the availability of Sutton. The Broncos would prefer to keep Sutton, as Sean Payton believes that he and new quarterback Bo Nix could be his new version of Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. Sutton is seeking a new contract, as he only has $2 million in guaranteed money remaining on his current deal. The star receiver also has a great relationship with Russell Wilson and is coming off a career-high 10 touchdown receptions last season in which Wilson was his quarterback. With 3 picks remaining in the draft, Pittsburgh could look to send at least one of them in exchange for the former Pro Bowl wideout and solidify the position going into 2024. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Courtland Sutton? Leave your opinion in the comments.